and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Don't Be So Brood. Today, we have a very, very special guest with us.
He's kind of a big deal.
He
like,
is.
literally big deal.
I don't know his last name.
I know he's sitting next to me.
We just kind of know him as Tom the Trainer.
Trainer Tom.
That's right.
You know, it's like Dr. B. It's, you know, it's all about marketing.
Personal
there's an
branding.
angle
I mean,
there.
you've got
That's
to
right.
have your, the fact that people don't know
You
your
bring up
last
Trainer
name.
Tom in this area, people know who you're talking about.
I mean, your last name might be Tom.
It might be. Last name's Huff, like tough.
Tough.
H-O-U-G-H.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you like how he's got a whole setup there. It's like, yeah.
Well,
Is it really Huff?
It is, and I don't know what if you've ever had experience with it, your name being butchered for your entire life. But
no, because my last name's Brown.
So easy, right?
It's hard to mess that up.
So last name's Huff, H-O-U-G-H.
Okay, so T. Dot.
Hogue.
Yeah, Hogue, Ho, Hugh, the whole nine. So it's always
Hauge.
Huff, H-O-U-G-H. Yeah, Huff like tough, not Ho like dough.
But we like dough.
We do.
Dough.
Oh, no.
So, yes, Trainer Tom from Fit Body Bootcamp.
That's right.
Here in Richardson, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Another small business owner, which you guys know. We love to
Of
bring
which
on.
many of you have gone. We had Jennifer Cahill's been up there, Desiree and Brad Johnson,
Yep.
Donna Burnett, like a lot of folks that have just spoke your praises
Absolutely.
over and over again.
Yeah.
Listen, they're an awesome place. Good guy. Family-owned business.
That's right.
You guys just had your first kid, right?
I have my first
Well, I
son.
say just had. He's
15, 16 months. Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say.
Yeah, little baby Bennett.
So how's that going? Like,
Yeah.
you're kind of stuck home a little bit.
We talking
Baby's home a
we're
little
talking,
bit.
Pre-corona, post-corona. So it's just like anything. We've had to definitely shift everything. We're a lot busier now than when our gym was actually open. So we pivoted and went completely online a couple weeks ago. And so as far as Bennett's concerned, we were taking him 2 days a week to a little Mother's Day out program down at the Arapahoe Methodist Church, which is really nice. Obviously that shut down, so we had to change our schedule a little bit. So I'm with him every morning, which is great, while my wife is over at the gym, kind of getting the day going, and then we see each other for a bit when we go over and do our noon workout, and then I stay over at the gym and finish working, and she comes home and.
Does he just kind of hang out while you guys are? What's he
do
while you?
No, sorry. So.
I mean, hey, it's possible. You just we put him in the thing. He runs around. It's it's kind of a thing.
Yeah. Katie's mom comes over and watches
perfect.
for a
See,
couple of hours, so
that's how my mother-in-law is. She comes and watches Remy in between stuff.
I give you guys a lot of credit. I've got a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old who are fairly self-sufficient.
Yeah, but dude, that's still not easy.
I couldn't freaking imagine anything under 5 years old right now, and having to be home and having.
I'm spoiled, so. Essential. I've still been essential, so for my schedule not a lot has changed other than in the in-between times I've got to be home to try to help out, because if my wife's got an important call or something that's coming up, because she's still working from home doing all the stuff that she would do, maybe even working more than she would typically work, because again, if she's busy and can't get stuff done, she's working later than she typically would. But I've also got an almost 3-year-old, so she's going through that massive developmental leap. She's running around with more energy than you can ever even imagine, making noises. We're happy as can be, and at a moment's notice we're crying with tears, and then right back again we're happy as can be because we got a snack.
Welcome to being the father of a girl.
I was about to say, and because
it
we have girls,
you
have a boy. So if you have a girl, it's the greatest thing. You'll love it. Being the daddy's little girl thing is a total thing, and if you have one,
And I could attest to that, but again, I'm at 12. That's my oldest. Right. We're just kind of hitting that puberty stage.
Yeah, but still, I'm like, I wouldn't trade that yet.
I just had this totally random thought.
Okay.
Are essential oils still essential? Are they more essential, or are they not quite as essential as we thought they were?
Yes, because Karen can essentially still, which is so funny. I got to bring this up. If hopefully you know the memes about Karen. Like Karen's the mom that's always creating problems. She's the one that needs to see the manager. Exactly. She's always going to these places. So the lady that was a patient of mine that set me up with my essential oils, which we really got into more for my daughter because we want to try to use things that were a little bit more clean. And I also like diffusing them in the office because they smell great. And I don't do Glade plugins because those, I don't do well with those. Her name is Karen. So literally when they describe, I'm like, I always give Karen a hard time. I'm like, this is literally you, the person that people are talking about. And I'm like, take this the right way. You're not a complainer. I've never seen you hey, I need to get the manager. I'm just when people bring this up, I'm like, it's got to be funny for you.
But that could be a thing, putting essential oils in your face mask.
Yeah,
I've done
right?
that.
Like,
I did that.
Little lavender to kind of chill you
Dude,
out.
I put peppermint oil inside of mine because the smell. I was like, I can't do this. So I put some peppermint oil
That's a
inside.
good idea.
Money.
Haven't seen that online yet.
Well, that's because the Karens of the world haven't adapted to where we're at. They're just
Come
like,
on,
hey,
ladies.
all you guys are wearing face masks. I'm fine. I'm just going to bathe myself in my essential oils, and I will be just fine.
That's right. I don't need a shower.
Listen, I got a little eucalyptus over here. I'm good to go.
That's right.
Rubbed a little thieves on my armpit. I'm fine.
You can lick this all you want.
Right? It's true. You can. And listen, take it for what it is. We're just joking. You guys know how this show goes. It's fine.
Read the new ticker.
Guys, it's fine.
You'll get it. There's even a little LOL on there.
It's true. Good. It is funny because, so for those of you who don't know, because we are literally on top of everything around here, Tom was a last-minute addition to the show because Jason was gone. We've been trying to get Tom on here anyway. Tom and I talked multiple times, and it was like, okay, we were able to make this work. Tom was like, yeah, so like, what's the podcast about? And I was like, that's a great question.
We still haven't figured that out.
Yeah. I'm like, basically the running joke is like, we are the Seinfeld of podcasts, which is basically what this runner says. It's like, hey, if you want information, that's basically about absolute nothing, you come to the right place. When there's certain things that we feel like we know about them, dude, we're all about it. We're all in, But when there's stuff, it's just like, when you asked, I was like, I don't really know where this is going to go. I can never predict it. We might get into this whole business discussion. We might talk about kids.
And we're just three dudes that spoke about essential oils.
Yeah.
I mean, that.
Well, and they didn't even hear all the conversations before. Like, we were going into it, and I was like, man, this should probably be like podcast-worthy stuff. Because, again, miss Jason. Wish he was here for sure. But with us being small business owners in the area, it's like I'd relate to someone else that's in that, and that's had to experience everything that's going on. Like, again, give a little plug for Fit Body Bootcamp again. Like, how's everything been going for you guys with everything?
So surprisingly, I would say surprisingly, but pretty well. But we were chatting about this before. So it's first of all, when you see another small business owner, I always relate it to being a fan of a sports team and seeing someone at a bar or wherever, and like, you have so much to be able to connect with, right? And it's the same thing where we just live a different lifestyle. We have different challenges than someone that has like a regular 9 to 5, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Just we just operate on a different level. We have different problems, different issues, and so being able to connect on that is really important. So what we did at Fit Body Bootcamp was, we were chatting about this as well, where it's all about mindset, where anything in life, whether it's this pandemic or any situation that comes up, what we always coach our members on, and what our CEO says is there's the 3 C's in life. And that is to concentrate on what's important, like what's right in front of you, what can you do right now, what's important. Control what you can control, right? And cope with what you can't control. So for example, with this pandemic right now, it's easy to kind of get in your feelings and get in your emotions and get ahead of yourself. But if you just slow down and think about those 3 C's. So for us, we were one of the only fitness brands that quickly moved to going online. We said, okay, we're always led by our passion, our purpose with how can we help people live healthier and happier lives. We can't do it in person, so what's the next best thing? We're going to take it online. So we did that within 48 hours of us being told that gyms are going to be shut down, and took it online and didn't skip a beat. Because
you have to with this. If you don't innovate,
right?
And again, with all this stuff with support local and all these businesses that we talk to, one of my favorite takeaways was the fact of a lot of people are innovating their business.
Have to.
But I love it because it's also showing you another way that you can do this. Like, again, mine's a little bit tougher because I can't put my hands on people through a video. That's a little bit harder. I can still provide other stuff, and I try to. But you always think that there has to be some level of, like, I'm sure with what you're doing, like, me involved with that person, and that's important, and that's really key. And while it is, there's that other side of, like, yeah, but I can still do this and still have an impact.
Yeah, there's still
even greater than I thought.
Ways to connect, and even taking sort of another step back is look at major businesses that were a huge disruption to industry, like Uber, right?
Yep.
Like Amazon. And what the retail dinosaurs would have said is, well, we've always done it this way.
Yeah,
right?
the Toys R Us's
have always been here, and then what happened was someone came up with a new way to do it. So you have to continue to innovate. It's either, unfortunately, adapt or die, but that's just
Well, and again, you're either going to come around or you're not going to make it.
Well, I think what this is defined is that disruption doesn't necessarily just come from another business model.
Correct.
Disruption could come from anywhere.
Right.
And you need to be agile and you need to be ready to react if you want to survive.
Adapt and move and just make decisions. Like, be quick to make decisions. You can always pivot down the road, but you have to be quick to and be decisive and always just keep moving forward, put one foot in front of the other.
Yep, we keep going in a direction. Even if that direction was over here and now it's over there, I keep moving forward. Forward momentum is always going to end up, maybe I go there and then I go over there. But if I lose that momentum, then I'm going to be in trouble. And then I'm going to get my own head, and then I'm going to start to, like what you were talking about, I'm going to get my feelings, I'm going to have these struggles.
So I want to throw a topic out there that concerns me a little bit, and it's definitely related. So you look at small business, right? You look at restaurants, you look at all these different local community-based organizations, and people have been laid off. There's no denying that people have been laid off and people are on unemployment. Unemployment today not only pays you their regular unemployment package, you also get $600 a week additional. So a lot of these people are making more money than they were making when they were working. That's going to carry through the end of July. Is there any way for things to recover between now and the end of July when people aren't incentivized to go back to work because they're not going to make as much as they're making on unemployment? Or are we stuck till August when people now need to go make money?
That's a pretty loaded question there.
It is.
Well, I mean, hopefully people would be able to, but hopefully
goes,
people would be able to look forward enough to go, this is only going to last so long. It's fantastic that I've got it now.
Right.
Maybe you're like, hey, I've got something set up. Can we wait to execute this till then? Again, you can make up whatever excuse or whatever you want to, like, hey, we're in a transition. I'm trying to do this. I still need to be able to be, whatever it is, home to help my wife or to be able to do this. Can we execute this on August 1st or whatever it is? Like, I get that, but you have to, again, like you said, when we get together, you look at things differently. The challenges are different. I can't just look at tomorrow. I have to look at next week. I got to look at next month. I got to look at next 3 months. I got to look at next year.
Right. And
hey, my lease is coming up. Hey, what if we outgrow this spot? Hey, what if something happened? Like, we have to plan for things that you could potentially never see. We've got to sort of be ready for that. And also, again, like we keep coming back to, adapt when something happens that you didn't expect to have happen. So I'm hoping, my opinion is I'm hopeful that people are smart enough to go, this is going to last forever. This isn't a gravy train.
Right. And that also just goes back to, human nature and really mindset. Like, you would have two people in the same situation. One's going to maybe be the lazier person, say, this is great. And then
fantastic, I'm making more.
Not save that money and spend it. And then you have someone that could, I mean, if you had an extra $600 for the next, 12 weeks?
What could you do with that?
What if you saved it up and started your own business when you opened?
I was saying, exactly I love it. Is like in my head, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, what if you created something e-commerce and you set something up? And what if you had some really unique skill that you could, again,
like you could identify great marijuana better than everybody else, and you could start your own Shopify store.
Well, and the other piece of it is, again, going back
CBD?
to like, there's always opportunity in all that. So as this pandemic comes and people can't go to work, my hope is that a lot of them, from my experience, don't love what they do for a living in their 9 to 5.
And you'll
so
make
they
the shift.
have time now to take a look at it and say, wow, look at the last 8 years that I spent at that job and all the stress and all the emails. And I have conversations like this a lot with our members where, they're too busy to work out, right?
Yep.
And the conversation always comes back to, well, that work that you're working on, right, in 25 years when you're retired is not going to matter as much as your health, right? So we're making that trade-off right now. So now that folks are out of work and on that break, maybe they'll realize that a little bit more. And when we go back to normal, we can be a little bit more passionate about what we're doing. Because the other piece of getting that extra money, if you were passionate about what you were doing for a living, there's no amount of extra money that would
shift you.
That you could sit with maybe 2-3 weeks. You're going to be ready to go back to work, and you're going to want to, not for the money, because it's what drives you and what you want to do.
100%. That's I mean, it's a fantastic perspective because, again, that was a point that I'm sitting here thinking, and like you bring it up of like, what could I do with that? If I have the opportunity, like it's very easy for me to sit here and reevaluate off of that and go, okay, well, how can I take advantage of this situation? And again, we kind of talked about it earlier. Like, I think we're going to have a reevaluation period. What things do I really value? What's important? Do I really want to keep doing this? Do I really,
And
are
just,
certain experiences and things that you pour so much into, are those important?
And all just the wasted time of just daily life with your commute, with going to work, with the things that you fill your space and your time up now. And I would bet that 6 months ago, 8 months ago, you probably had a thought at some point where it was like, man, if I could just be home with my kids and my wife, or be on vacation all the time. And then we got it. And then what happened? Folks are either ready. There's either going to be a lot of relationships that end. Maybe there'll be a lot of babies that get made.
Oh, yeah, they talked about babies and divorces. Because it's like, now you got to be around each other all the time.
You get that, but so the question is that what you really wanted? Some of us think about this time in life where we're just going to have nothing to do. And I don't feel like that's really anyone's dream. What that really is you're thinking about escaping from what you're currently doing.
No,
it's true.
Well, yes and no. So I'm victim of a lot of what you just spoke about.
Scott's got a foot in both.
I am firmly on this horse.
I was about to say he's firmly got the fence right up the middle. So it's beautiful because
he
gets the other side. Yeah.
This guy.
Well, because you still have a traditional.
I work a full-time job. My wife runs this company. I help her after hours and do what we got to do to survive. But the goal's not necessarily. It's not the escapism component of it. It's I'm 41 years old. By 50, I would like to have the freedom to choose. If I want to continue working, I want to do it because I like it. Whether it's here, whether it's at my primary job, wherever it is, it doesn't matter. I want that freedom to make that decision. Now, have I sacrificed other things to make that happen? Yes, I have. But, like the first time I visited with Brandon, it was like a pity visit. Okay? Like he was looking to give his presentation, and I'm like, yeah.
It actually was.
I'll kind of come listen to your presentation. And he gave his pitch, and I'm like, pretty logical. Like I'm not the most in shape guy, but I understand anatomy and how all this stuff works. I know what I'm supposed to do.
When you had an experience before, and you were like, "Oh, okay, I like
this," and I had
it
very
made sense.
good chiropractic experience with another witch doctor. It was cool, but so we were talking about it, and he shares his rates with me, and I'm like, "Oh, it's been nice meeting with you." And he's like, "Well, what's your reservations?" And I'm like, "That's the equivalent of X, Y, and Z." And he's like, all right. And he said something that resonated. And you could probably use it too. I'm sure he'll let you for a small license fee or something. He's like,
I don't even know what he's talking about. That's what's funny. Is I'm like trying to remember.
All right, so I'll go deeper. I don't want to expose everything, but
no. You can share. I'm interested to see what I said.
So I said to him, I said, dude, that's like a fucking car payment, right? And his response was, yeah, but car gets old, you get rid of the car. He's like, you only get one body. Like if you don't take care of it and you don't put into it, like what price do you put on your body, right?
Same for you.
And I was like,
when you're talking to people, it's like you're very right.
But what an amazing and it takes a lot for me to change my mind. He could attest to that. I mean, it's like, but it was profound enough for me to say, wow, like.
And profound enough for him to bring his wife in too. Let's even
and
talk
my
about
parents,
it. Just like
and I've made multiple referrals.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like everybody wants that nice new car, but you ain't gonna go buy no nice new body. Like, there's no way to get it without putting less in and getting more out. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Amber Alert, you guys are gonna get hit in a minute.
Oh, I'm probably getting hit over there.
Who the hell's kidnapping kids? Right, everyone's supposed to be home. What the
I
hell
was gonna say, like,
it's messed up, man.
I bet you home invasions.
What the hell is this?
And burglaries are way down because everybody's home all day long.
Man, I hope so, because it's like, hey, everyone is home. Yeah. Amazon packages aren't getting stolen. No stupid stuff.
Crime's down. Like all they're reporting on is virus. They got no crime. Like send somebody out with a gun, please.
Dude, and people are talking about animals coming out more. Like the animals are like, where the hell are all the people
at?
I saw
a bobcat in my alley the other day. Yes.
Right. I heard everybody talking about this. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. Like, and they talk about all these places where things are kind of resetting. Was it Venice or whatever? The little the water like cleared up.
30
and
days.
Fish were coming back and all that stuff. It's
in 30 days. We're killing ourselves.
Maybe we just needed a reset for a little bit. Like, you never know.
Well,
it's hard to say.
Yeah.
We're killing ourselves.
And even when you look around your house now that you're home so much, like how much of it is just wasteful, right? Like
for sure.
It's a great kind of reevaluation period, like you said.
We talk about that all the time.
We have gotten the ultimate spring cleaning at the Zimmerman residence.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of people. Dude, if you want to go get free shit, drive around. It's going to be in front of everyone's houses. There's stuff out on the curb. If you just want to go lawn shopping, just drive through neighborhoods. It's everywhere.
If you think Gary V going to garage sales is a good deal, go trash shopping in your alleys.
Free. Yeah. People are just setting stuff out. what I was going to mention earlier, because we were talking about some of this innovating and adapting.
Oh, and real quick, when I was talking about the car payment, I wasn't talking like, you know, McLaren or anything like that.
We're not talking crazy.
Yeah,
like thanks for specifying.
Right?
Yeah, you know, he's like just like
just to give him a little bit of
crazy.
a break. You know, like one of those ones where you put 1,500
hey, listen,
down.
maybe it is maybe it is up to that point. I mean, I don't know, and I don't know what to tell you. But no, we're talking about all this, like, you know, and Tom is very much a well-known person through social media. He very much like me. We're trying to build that audience and build that awareness. You know what he needs to do, right?
What does he need to do?
He's going to have to get on TikTok. He's got to do it.
You're not on TikTok yet?
I'm not on TikTok.
Oh, dude, you're a stud. You'll be fine. You'll be like 2 seconds.
Dude,
Boom.
I'm telling you.
TikTok's where it's at.
All right.
Listen,
here's
would I ever mislead you about any of that stuff with all the things that we do on social
my
media?
recommendation. Just pull it up and do a 30-second bicep curl video. You'll have 100,000
No, dude, like I
in
think
like a
you
day.
could provide some serious value. You could do some things that were funny. Like I'd feel free, just like I did for him, to give you some advice. Like, so to give you a story of what happened. So I jumped on in November of last year.
This is where Brandon takes credit for my fame. Go
I
ahead.
do, for sure. Oh yeah, I'm 1,000,000%. Now your AirPod videos, that was just all you threw them up, and now that's your own thing. So totally get that. This is where I get to take my credit, because it wasn't even my own page; it was his freaking page. I've been doing this for like, I think 2 months. Posting, trying to do everything, trying to learn that. You know how all this stuff goes. Like, you got to learn it. You got to really, if you're going to do it, you got to do it right. You don't just get to show up. And again, Gary Vee, all the people are like, you got to be on TikTok. And I'm like, no, it's an app for kids. And everyone says that still to this day. And guess what? It was an app for kids. But guess what happens when kids start doing a lot of things? Moms start going, what the heck are these kids doing? And now the moms are all over this thing. And again, I know it's a lot of the people that you serve. Dude, my page is like 91% mom. So like, that's my following. It's pretty much like, that's who follows my page, because that's the stuff that I put out for them. But Scott, we're going to Joe Rogan was coming here to Dallas, and we were going with some of our friends, and we're sitting in the back of our buddy's car riding on the way there. And I was like, Scott, I'd been telling him, you got to set this up. And he goes, fine, I'll do it. And he goes, what do I do? So we download him, we set him up, I show him how to set everything up, and he goes, all right, what do I post? And I'm like, do you have any videos of you personalizing any of these, like the laser engraving, the stuff that he does? He's like, yeah, I got this one with our logo on this ammo can. Yeah. I'm like, perfect. I'm like, put it up, put music over it, and use these hashtags.
So literally that night, like 12:30 in the morning, I'm laying in bed, I'm like, fuck it, let's do this.
I get a text at 10 the next morning, and he goes, dude, my video's got 12,000 views. And I'm like, what? And I'd been working hard. I had like 30 followers at this point. I'm like busting it. I'm like posting every day, a couple times a day, trying to do all this stuff, jumping on the trends. Like, it's its own
world.
It's its own world. Yeah. Literally, you're talking about stepping into a different place. Like, you don't just get to do what you do on other platforms and make it work. Like, you can take from TikTok and put it on other platforms. Like, my TikToks on Instagram work great.
This was like the
but if I
biggest
took it Instagram
high.
And tried to take it to TikTok, wouldn't work. So I get the message at like 10 in the morning. I'm going to get coffee. Scott's like, dude, it's up to 12.
And I wasn't even trying to be a dick through all this. Right?
No, we were just excited.
We were just kind of like,
genuine excitement, because again, this is a place where it's all organic. This is how Facebook used to be. Right. This is when these apps were like that. They wanted to drive that organic reach where you're not having to pay for it. So I think he messages me like 30 minutes later. He goes, dude, it's at 24,000. I'm like, you doubled? Messages me later, dude, it's at like 50,000. I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is crazy. And for me, I'm like, I freaking knew this could work. I knew it. It goes crazy. It gets up to like 240,000, something like that. And I'm like, damn, that's cool. Dude, a couple days later, it takes off again, gets up to 1.2 million views on his first video. Just goes absolute banana sandwich. I thought I was gonna
for sure be a one-hit wonder. I'm like, I don't even know how to fucking follow this up because I don't even know what I did.
And he was like, I have no idea. Like, he uploaded like 6 or 7 videos afterwards, and he was like, these are getting like 4,000 views. I like, 4,000 views is a lot, right?
Yeah, it was not 1.2.
I know, and he's like, but it's not 1.2. So then it was like a couple videos. He had some that hit a little bit, and then he uploaded a video of some AirPods that he personalized. I think were mine the first ones, or was it someone else? So mine, which by the way is fantastic.
Got, like, a lot of influence on this.
If you ever want to get something personalized, have him post it on his page and you get the exposure. He uploaded a video of my AirPods with me tagged in it and talking about all my migraine stuff, and it's got like over 1 million. Am I sitting at a little over 1 million?
me take a look
So
at
that
the,
means a million people have
let's
seen
get
the
the facts out
AirPods
here.
that he did for me. Well, he uploaded some for his daughter. 10 million views on that, or
10.3.
all organic.
Wow.
Don't forget the other 300,000 people.
So Scott's is a very different page from mine. Mine, I have every video that I've been very.
You're sitting at 1.5 million.
1.5 million, just for
that.
Just for that.
Yep.
Cool.
My page is way more focused towards like my migraine audience, and I dance and kind of act goofy and do all this stuff all the time. But I've got a pretty good. Anytime I've had a video go viral or get some like viewership, it's been very focused towards my target audience, and they start following me. So sometimes you can have a video go crazy. It doesn't mean people are going to start following you and seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
When we get off of this, I'll tell you what it's done for my business, and you'll be like, I'm in. You'll be sold. I'll tell you how well it's worked for my business. I'll tell you I'm probably sitting over 40 new clients this year from TikTok just by itself. It's a beautiful way to be able to develop and build this relationship with your audience. And I've never seen anyone that does what you do doing it. Sure, there are fitness people out there, but I've never seen anyone that has the character, the personality, the person like you, who I know you are. Dude, you start building that stuff, it'll slow. It'll be like, you'll probably grow like I did. It won't be anything. His is just has the ability to have this like viral. Yours will be like, oh, we go to 1,000, then we go to like we slowly build, but you'll start building this audience that again, and with you shifting to online, dude, the access to be able to drop a link on your profile and to have people go through that, it blows me away the amount of exposure that you can get from this for free by doing a video that takes you, like, the videos can only be about, you can make them really short, but max of a minute. So 15 seconds to a minute is about your range. You can put there, and there's so many ways to be creative. So you come up with an idea, and especially for the stuff that you guys do, and even taking clips from some of your lives and adding something, like, there would be so many ways. Or, hey, I want to give you guys some tips really quick. 5 must-haves if you're trying to get big biceps. 5 must-haves if you're trying to lose weight. The 3 things, like, I've done some videos like that. Those do great. Hey, here's me being a goofball and acting like, because you've done some of that stuff too, where you dress up and you do these things.
Oh, you should see it. So every Friday now we started doing themed workouts. We didn't know how long this was gonna last.
Love it. Now it's a thing.
Oh man,
All
dude.
right.
So now every Friday, so we did Flash Dance, we did Tiger King.
Dude, both of those. Tiger King goes crazy on. I'm telling you, you were made for this.
And then I dressed like Katie, and she dressed up like me.
Oh my gosh, we've literally lost everyone's. No one's paying attention anymore. But if you are,
I don't
go
really
download
care.
TikTok.
We're having a nice time.
No, I love it.
So this is gonna be a day or two probably before this airs. So I'm gonna give you your first video lead in. How to lose weight without eating well and without working out.
Good.
And come up with something around that. It doesn't have to be true, but it's clickbait.
Cocaine.
You know, it's.
But you do what I do, and you kind of make fun of, like, that's one of my directions is make fun of the other people, and at the end you're like, guys, but for real, let's talk about the, and you can, like, I drop those in at the end all the time.
Yeah,
you can mix it up. Instead of cope, you could have concentrate, control, cocaine.
There you go.
Problem solved.
You just got some chalk there, and it's like, is this guy for real? And it's like, and as you're like, guys, I'm kidding. Let's be for real. Like, I do that stuff all the time because I've, goofy videos. But here's what'll happen too. You'll be like, bro, this is the video. It's not the video, but the one that takes you 10 seconds to make is the one. I messaged him one night. I was sitting there, I uploaded a video. My first one that ever went crazy. I think it got like up to like 200. When I say crazy for me, it was like 250,000, which again is still a ton of views. You know how that stuff works.
Like, don't bother me with your petty text, you 6-figure viewer guy.
So I'm like sitting there and I upload a video, and within like a few minutes, it was like at 3,000 views, which is fast. And I was like, Scott, I think I might have be on to one here. And then it like slowly started to go.
I gotta bring one on the line.
And then a couple months later, dude, I had one that went up to 750K. And it was very specific towards my market. I had so many people reach out to me. Dude, it was overwhelming. I couldn't even keep up with it. It was crazy. But again, you being a business owner to another business owner, I know the stigma that goes with TikTok and what it is and what everyone's saying. I'm telling you, everyone is starting to download it. All of our friends are asking about it. They message me, dude, how the heck do you have over 50,000 followers on some platform? And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. I've been putting in the work. I've been posting. We've been doing this, but it's a great way to get that exposure. And then for you, you can leverage it towards other things. TikTok's very much.
Man, I feel like we need a TikTok commission. We're like pitching this pretty hard.
They leverage it towards your Instagram. You can build a YouTube. You can have stuff that's linked into your profile to drive these things. So it doesn't just have to be, TikTok centric. You've got the ability to share it over other platforms, but to run ads, you can take a TikTok video that you recorded, save it to your phone, run that thing as an ad on Facebook. I do it all the time. Taking from TikTok and bringing it over here, people love it. Taken from Facebook, maybe. But some of the stuff that I know that you've done and that's funny, dude, people will relate to that. And the fact that you don't take yourself so seriously, and you're not gym bro guy that's going to tell you how you're ruining your gains and all these things. Like, that's the thing. You're going to relate to that audience that I know likes you. It's a different audience. You're not going for the gym bro. You're going for the person that wants to help, you're, what is it? The LBN diet is what we always called it. The look better naked is what we're always, my coach, when I started coaching CrossFit, he was like, listen, people aren't coming in here to go to the CrossFit games. They just want to look better naked. That's really all they're going for. Yeah. They just want to be able to feel a little bit, they want to feel better about themselves. And it's like, it's very easy to help someone achieve that. And if you're out there pumping out that message, I'm telling you, people are going to be all over it. You got to see if Trainer Tom is available. You got to lock that thing down.
No, you don't need Trainer Tom. You need to look better naked.
There we go. I bet that's taken.
I don't know.
Where's your phone? Dude?
My phone's over here. I'm going to look this up right now. I'm about to bust this out. We're going to find out right now. Don't worry. If you guys are watching this, all this stuff will be gone by now.
We're about to pimp your gym.
Telling you.
B to the Z.
I mean, but seriously, 54.
Look at you go, Brandon Brown.
And again,
What are you checking? Are you checking to see if you got any new views, or are you checking to see if his tag is available?
He's addicted.
He is. This is the first
high
sign.
all day off that dopamine hit. Every time he gets a little like, a little view.
He was like, "This is an opportunity to go grab my phone and see where I'm at."
A little more, yeah.
No, because it takes me one step closer. No. Gage looks better naked is the only profile that's on here. So look better naked's available.
Gage looks better naked. Is that a person?
Yeah, but they have no followers and nothing. They literally haven't done anything with
they
it.
Have no naked pictures on there.
No.
How are we supposed to know they look better naked?
Dude, you do look better naked, and you do like strip teases, and that's it. You'll be
set. The only thing I see is Trainer Tom 1. Why wouldn't you take Trainer Tom?
Bro. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see Trainer Tom. So
Richardson FBBC too.
Look better naked.
Look better naked.
I'm telling you.
That's the vote.
Someone does have Trainer Tom, so you'll have to figure out. And again, you can make one for the business, but I would rather it be personalized to you. That's what people are going to attach to, and then connect it to your Fit Body Bootcamp,
wear your shirts,
Instagram,
signs.
Yep,
they'll figure it out.
Like they'll attach to all that, because I've had people ask me that too. Like, should I make all of our docs in the specific chiropractic centers are like, should I make one for my office? And I'm like, dude, that's way too much work. It's just a lot of work to try to be able to cover both of those versus. Trainer Tom is going to be directly associated to whatever you're associated. And it's like, Trainer Tom Fit Body Bootcamp. It's going to be automatic. They'll connect that to it. And again, if they come find, you'll be amazed the amount of once you start posting videos, how TikTok will pump it out to your local area. Mm-hmm. And you'll have people come in and you'll be like, how'd you find our gym? And be like, TikTok.
All right. My advice is quit the franchise.
And just go all in on
Just
TikTok.
go all Look Better Naked. Because if you had a gym called Look Better Naked.
Nope, we've already grabbed up all that. It's already gone. Nope, we already have that. It goes along with the beer pong idea that we had. They're both already gone.
Like,
Alana, by the way, was not so high on that idea, but I still think it's great.
That's right. We're gonna try it.
What would you? So, I don't know if you were ever this person. You don't have to admit it. You can just tell me your opinion on this.
Hang on. Do you drink beer?
Sure.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead.
It's been a little while. But
you ever played beer pong?
Yes.
In college, were you was that kind of a fun experience to be able to go do?
High school, but yeah.
Okay, see. Yeah, I was about to say, everybody had a different, not that he would ever drink underage. Come on, people. It just took him longer.
Slow. Yeah, I didn't graduate till I was 26.
So we talked about the idea of, again, you can pump out ads and do all this stuff, but let's make a beer pong kit. You get like a box, it comes in. It's got personalized, if you want, personalized cups, personalized ping pong balls, the whole setup, everything that you would need. And it all comes in this kit. I'm like, do you know how many college kids would go crazy about that? Or like, I get to show up to the party with my box that's got, for sure.
I'd go flip cup.
You could do that too. Again, personalized. But it's like one of those things where you show up and it's like, you got your own set. That's what I'm saying, but you got your own setup.
We'll do it with glass cups.
Yeah.
That way I got a residual component to this business.
And again, you got your own setup. And this is, you want to talk about what this podcast is about. Half the time, if it's just me and him, we come up with business bullshit ideas. They were like, this would be a fantastic idea. Like when Kenneth was here, we came up with like 15 T-shirt ideas because he has a barbecue.
I mean, dude, think
company.
of your Look Better Naked shirts. It's gonna say "Look Better Naked" on the front, and then like.
No, it
Pretty
just
much
needs to
whatever you
say.
want on
It
the
just needs to
back.
say I'm on the LBN diet. It's like, what is that? And then on the back, it's like look better naked, and it's just Which, by the way, we should probably dive into the fact that if you guys want to go look this up, you can go over to Facebook. Trainer Tom has done a men's physique competition. If you ladies want to go, I mean, dear Lord, this guy.
Like full-on bodybuilder type.
Oh, dude, he was already in fantastic
Greased
shape, and then
up
you
and all
watched
that
him.
shit,
Oh yeah, tanned and everything.
Really?
Got 3rd place. First time out.
How many people?
3. No.
Okay, I was gonna say.
How many people were there? Well, there was 4,
a couple
so.
hundred, yeah.
I mean,
right before my son was born, we called it Operation DadBod.
Yeah, I was about to say, I saw the whole thing. He was kind of pumping this out and promote, and it was really
Operation
cool to watch.
DadBod being, this is the last time it would look like this before.
No,
you had
meaning
your
that I
child,
think
or-
that DadBod
This is what a
gets
DadBod could be.
Yeah, should look like. We should be, better examples for our kids, and that the word DadBod, I don't necessarily agree with.
And he was already in fantastic shape,
I
and then
wanna
he
hear
just got
the-
more.
That's cool. So tell me what you don't agree with DadBod.
That
Is it just more social acceptance of everybody's laziness? And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
Yes,
then, like,
we
I
have to
don't-
be body positive. You can't attack anyone for certain things because then you're
Why
fat
is-
shaming.
Why is it negative?
But
Well,
for real, that's like an issue.
For
There's
me, it's
people.
more about like the example that it's like an excuse. Like, I don't like to look at things in life as like
It's acceptance.
like I said before, like, oh, I'm gonna get to this place and then I can just like cool off. I think you always need to be working, and it's just me.
You're working
personally.
towards something till the end.
Of course,
I
it's
agree.
your fitness journey is never over. Like it will never stop. Like there's no like for example, we're starting another 6-week challenge on Monday, and the biggest thing that we try to pour into folks is this is not. I mean, yes, it's a 6-week challenge, but it's not a 6-week challenge. This is just the beginning.
You're
one
creating
little,
a habit.
One little tiny
Yep.
step to go well.
Can
on
I
for the
create a
rest of your
habit
life.
in 6 weeks that drives
Yeah.
me into what
That's
this needs to be?
Yeah.
Where would people get that if they wanted to jump into a 6-week challenge?
Richardson FBBC.com. Yeah.
Listen, I'm just saying it's easy. You start creating these habits, you start doing these things,
Yeah.
and
and you can do
things
it
can
online
happen.
now, right?
You can do it anywhere, anytime from your house. And the workouts are actually fun. I know you don't like working out from home. Either do I.
I don't like
but
working out anywhere.
you don't-
Listen, you
don't
guys
have
have
a
heard
choice.
of Sean T. We got Trainer T over
TT
here.
right
You
here.
don't need
Yeah.
Sean T.
Yeah.
Nobody needs that guy. Listen,
I don't
you
even
need
know
this
who that
guy.
is.
You
But
know
yeah,
her
if
as
you
Sean
ever,
T?
If you ever want to, step on stage and do a show, I could coach you through it.
See?
Do a
Now you know
show
a
of
guy.
what?
Like do a men's physique show.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah?
knows how to do it. Yeah, because there's like, so we talked about this a little bit with Brittany when she was here, but like take us through this process a little bit because there's
That's
like
right, she competed
certain things
too.
that when you're dieting. Like I was surprised. I went to one time and we were talking to these guys about what you get to eat and what you
Yeah.
get to do, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna go eat. So I'm like, you can eat, and they're like, yeah, you can eat.
Oh,
you can't really drink a lot. That's the problem. They're like, I get to eat all this, but I really only get like I'm gonna drink a little bit, and like part of that is whatever it was gonna be, but.
Like leading up to the day, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
And even
just,
on the day, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go eat," but then
Oh, I
with
went.
this,
I was drinking wine and had a beer in the middle of the day, in the middle of the show.
that's
So,
what they talked about. Is like some of that stuff, fine.
Yeah. So
What
the
is
way
that?
that
Because
works is
things
it's
open up and
obviously
loosen up the.
no. So it's all. So you're gonna diet like leading up, and obviously if you need to lose body fat, that's what you're gonna work on for 8, 12, 16 weeks, however long leading up.
So is
to
it like the basic of what you would expect, like rice, chicken, vegetables, sort of like
Yeah, it's gonna
the
be high protein, moderate fat, moderate carb, and
Yep.
then depending on your body type, if you're insulin sensitive, you'll do some carb cycling as you're going through the diet phase, where maybe you have 2
So
low
coming
carb
off and on,
days,
yeah.
1 high, 2 low, and then you have a coach that helps you, and then it gets to the point where it's not about the scale, it's about the way that you look, and literally how your body changes day by day with the food that you eat. So you do have to stick to your meal plan exactly.
because you can be sensitive to certain things
Oh,
that
it's
allow you to
it
retain
is
water, right?
Amazing how much your body changes, and then what happens is leading into that last 2 weeks, it's all about water at that point. So you're at the right weight, your body fat's down, so you look pretty good. But to get to like that super dry look,
Oh yeah,
it comes-
chiseled is super. So when somebody just looks or just dehydrated as can be,
yeah,
it's really all that is.
Nobody walks around like that all the time. That
No.
was for that photo shoot. That was for that specific thing. So
Oh, yeah.
Then it becomes down to water manipulation. So then you're actually gonna drink a ton of water for like a week, like 2 gallons a day.
Dang.
And you're gonna start cutting down your salt. So you're gonna cut down your salt while you continue to stay really hydrated. What's gonna happen is, so when you have salt in your system, your water's gonna your body's gonna hold on to that water.
Retain it.
When you keep drinking water and you start cutting the salt, you're gonna start flushing everything out. So you want to think about like your body like flushing through all that water, getting all
So he's
that.
just peeing constantly.
peeing
Poor
while
guy.
Making my margarita decision feel really bad
Right.
And then going into that
You had salt, though.
and then going into that final week up to that last day, then it's like 2 gallons of water, a gallon, a half a gallon, 20 ounces, and then like nothing the day of the show. And while you're doing that, you're also in the beginning of the week loading up, or I'm sorry, totally going really depleting carbs. So carbs get stored in your muscles as glycogen, as sugar, and so you're going to deplete that, and you're going to do full body workout, so you're going to get all that glycogen out of your system while you're cutting water. So then the day before, you get to eat the most amount of candy you've ever seen in your life. So
just straight sugar, just straight glycogen.
Sugar. Yeah, dry. The best is dextrose, so dry like.
I was about to say just straight
Pixie,
up
Pixie
carbohydrate.
sticks.
Yeah, you can get dextrose powder to put into your.
Yeah, no, you actually don't. Not things that have any like it's not sucrose. So anything that's dextrose, where what's going to happen then is your muscles are ready for it.
Yep.
It's like, and so then you
basically
get
it doesn't have to be broken down. So you get like dextrose. That's a big one that everyone wants to put in like post-workout shakes. It just goes directly in.
So then it pumps you
it's
up.
like depriving,
so
and then
super
it's
dry.
like crack for your muscles.
Yeah. So you're like super dry, and then you wake up in the morning like, what is going on here?
So,
and it literally lasts that day, and then
it's gone.
Yeah. So I gained like 14 pounds in 3 days after the show. And
just kind of being back to normal.
Just water, like regular food and water. I didn't like
I remember like I went to a show one time with my buddy. We had like he had a booth set up there, and he wanted me to come out, and I was like, all right. And there was a guy up there, and he was, it's always funny because when you're doing this, so you're basically flexed the entire time, and as you're transitioning between poses, they tell you they'll be like, relax. There's no such thing as relaxing when you're doing this stuff. So you watch these guys, like if the judges aren't looking, they try to catch like a breath really quick, because basically you're just like, and then they look away and you're like, and then they look, and it's like, so it's like relax, and you watch them and they're like, I am relaxed, and then it's like go into this, and then they pose and it's like relax, and they're like, okay, I am like it's this whole thing where they're
sore the day after.
Oh yeah,
my core just from keeping
crazy, because you just have to. Yeah, it's got to. You want that stuff to
and
show.
And then if you win or place like I did, you're up on stage even longer. So like you're up there, and then they're like number 22, number this.
Scott's over there feeling bad.
Step 4.
No, I'm not feeling bad.
But
there's
so
a
they
flaw
talked about
in the system. They got to make you laugh. There's got to be a comedian up there cracking jokes, because once you start laughing, your body will auto relax.
It'd be interesting to have that in, like just as like a.
Like, could you imagine Kevin Hart sitting there and just roasting you while you're up there? You'd crack.
Well,
you'd laugh.
It's true if you could get him to do it. I mean, listen, these guys take this stuff serious.
There's plenty of local comedians.
The best part was the tan. So I never had a spray tan in my life. I'm a pretty pale guy.
Where you look like a walking turd. It's fine. I mean, I'm gonna say it.
They had to put on 4 coats of the spray.
So I went to a CrossFit competition one time that was at Europa, where they have the competition, and we're in the bathroom
People
going to
orange,
before.
Dude.
People are in there, and I'm like, look at these walking. And the crazy thing is, like, it's all your body. Your face isn't it. Your face is pretty much normal. Your body is like this. Your body is these chairs.
Yeah.
Your face is what it normally is.
And
so
when
you're like
down walking around like around normal people, like
you look
crazy,
oh yeah.
But on stage with the lights,
you have to. Yeah.
It looks.
When you're tanned, you look jack. It's just a fact. That's
Yeah.
why they do it.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to my story. The guy that was up there that was posing off was just sweating profusely, and someone was like, "Ah, that guy's got too much water on board." Was how he referenced it. It was like too much,
Holding
like he
too
didn't.
Much water,
holding too much, because he's just out there doing it and just drenched his tan. It just looked bad, and I was like, interesting. And I remember that was why I asked, because I was talking to him, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, I get to eat this, and I'm gonna have like a beer and like a half of a Diet Coke." He was like, you can't have all that. You can eat. He's like, it's no problem. You just can't have this stuff.
At that day, like your physique's not gonna get ruined from one meal. It's not. You don't have enough time for that to happen.
So you open back up officially in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
Right. So if somebody's looking to get in, right, like there's probably a lot of people like me out there whose wife and children have been baking some amazing cookies and brownies and all kinds of crap.
Which, by the way,
you need the quarantine bod challenge.
Well, we've all put on the COVID-19.
Yes.
Right?
I know,
the freshman 15.
That's what I'm saying. You need the quarantine bod challenge so we can get back.
So leading up to this point in time where people have to get mentally reset, we've been out of routine for 21 days plus, so habits now need to be consciously reformed. what can folks start doing now in preparation for this? Like from diet, start doing 10 push-ups a day. Like
it starts with the two most important times a day, which is the time you wake up and the time you go to bed. So it's starting a routine. Nothing in your life is going to be.
So it's pooping and peeing.
That's it. Nothing in your life is going to be sustainable or repeatable if it's not a system, right?
Yep.
So self-discipline.
So you're saying schedule bedtime, schedule wake up
every day. Like even when you go on vacation, I mean, depending on how strict you are, but like I wake up on the weekends at the same time that I do during the week and go to bed at the same time.
So what time do you wake? What time do you go to sleep?
Right now I'm in bed at 8:30. I'm up at like 4:30, but that's because our schedule's a little bit.
And we got it messed up right now.
You're going in to train, or
and I'm still going over to work out because that's the only time I can do it. Is I go to my gym at 5 and I get a workout in so I can start my day because it's just part of what I do. So yeah, so at bedtime, and I believe, and I know your parents probably told you this, we're like nothing good happens after, whatever time, 11 p.m. For me, it's 9 o'clock at night. There's nothing on the TV that is going to help me the next day. That nothing is going to enter my brain that's going to be like, wow, I needed to see that. And so I'm in bed at 9 at the latest, up at 4 or 5.
Which is very interesting because I'm sometimes still working after that, doing certain things. So I get it. But I love that you see the discipline.
On your schedule, though,
for sure.
I mean, everybody's different. That's just what works for me. And also, I have a son at home who's up at 5. So even if I wasn't going to work,
I was about to say, kids are always nothing changes for them. They don't care if you were hungover from the night before or any of that.
The time you're waking up, the time you're going to bed, and then the time you're going to work out. Those are the 3 things you should schedule out first, and then build your schedule around that. We don't really, we always think about working out first and then nutrition, and that's not always.
It doesn't work.
That's not where your results are going to come from, but that's the best thing to do is because you have to make that a routine. And then what usually happens if you start working out and you're like, well, this is good, I feel good, but it should be better. That's when we usually start.
It's like if I quit smoking, maybe I'll be able to run faster.
Exactly.
Right?
So, and then as far as nutrition, the first thing we always teach is quality over quantity. So don't worry about how many calories you eat. Don't worry about tracking your food.
Just add in better food.
Better food first, and you will see amazing results just from changing the quality.
That's not better tasting food. That's just better quality food.
That's not true. Just
not like margaritas.
So, alcohol unfortunately metabolizes in your body and stops you from burning body fat. So if you're trying to lose body fat, alcohol is not your friend. But yeah, just quality first, and then worry about the quantity later. And it's not overcomplicated. You need to be in a caloric deficit, meaning eating less calories than you burn. You need to focus on protein because protein is going to maintain your muscle mass and speed up your metabolism. And you need to make good food choices. It really is that simple.
And you got to figure out what works for you.
What works for you. Yes.
I mean, I've started doing intermittent fasting recently. It's worked out great for me. I like it. It's again, what you talk about, it's a system. So I know I don't eat till this point. So I don't even think about it. Like a lot of people talk about, oh, but wouldn't you get hungry? Wouldn't you? I'm like, I don't even think about it. Like I get up. First of all, I love just having black coffee in the morning anyway, which is pretty much all you can have is black coffee and water when you're intermittent fasting, which I'm like, that's all I really ever want in the morning anyway. I get to have that. And then I don't even worry or think about anything until it's around 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then I'm like, okay, it's time where I'm a break in my schedule with whatever I'm doing for my patients or whatever it is. I can grab some food. And then I know I'm probably going to hit one more, maybe fit something in between, one more meal for dinner, and then maybe one thing after that. So for me, it's controlling the amount, and then I'm a little bit more conscious about what I'm fitting in those hours because I'm only getting so many opportunities within I do a 8 and 16, so I have an 8-hour feeding window and a 16-hour fasting window. So for me, again, and I've tried them all. I've done paleo, I've done zone, I've done macros, and they all work to what extent you're committed to them.
One finds what that last piece, or find how well you're committed to it. But it's if you enjoy it, if it works for you or not. So everything works.
And intermittent fasting for me is great because if I fall off, I can go right back into it, and I'm fine. Like it just allows me to have some sort of structure. Because like you talked about, if I don't have the structure, that's going to be a problem for me because then I don't know where I'm going and I'm going to make a bad decision.
Of course, yes. We could go on and on about this forever because, it's finding what works for you. You're not a bad person if you fall off your meal plan, or you're not a good person if you get in a workout or you eat like food. And working out does not define who you are. You do those things because what we say is working out is not a punishment and food is not a reward. You are not a 4-year-old at a birthday party. You do not deserve a piece of cake.
Even though we kind of build ourselves that way throughout
For
our
your
life.
whole
It is
life.
very, yeah,
It's
it is
a
very
hard
interesting.
thing to break, for sure.
I had to get over that with
Yeah.
running for a while. I had an issue with I grew up playing sports, and running was a punishment. When we screwed up, when we messed something up, when I had to pay for something, we ran. So it's like I got past that, and I'm like, I'm running, and I'm like, my body tells me this is a punishment for whatever and I'm like, I didn't do anything. Why the hell am I being punished?
Right.
So it took me a while to get shifted out of that because
yeah.
I was just like, what the hell? Like I had to get out of this. Like, why do I feel this way about running? And I'm like, I had to think about it. And I'm like, that's all it ever was.
I hate
Messed
running.
up, go run.
I retired last year.
Yeah.
You get hurt.
Oh, well, yeah.
A lot of people get hurt running.
Yes. Running has the lowest barrier of entry for exercise. We all think that we could do it. All you need is a pair of running shoes. You walk out your front door and you go. But there's just like anything, you need a coach. You need to be trained how to do it properly.
There's technique
I
to
asked the
everything.
coach.
Oh my
so
gosh, yeah.
when I started, let's see. So my second round with CrossFit, because the first one was not a good experience.
We're going to start your third round Monday.
We'll see. So we got at this gym down in Victory Park because it was near my office. My wife's old boss owned it, so I was like, yeah, support. And I'm always about supporting people. And I mean, it hurt, like just pain in my knee, like everything. And I'm like, look, can one of you fools just teach me how to freaking run? I said, I know that sounds like the silliest thing ever. I said, but I'm doing something wrong. I shouldn't be feeling this, and they found like just how I was landing on my feet. Like there were all kinds of different things that, and granted, I still don't enjoy it like at all. Like, I mean, I that could hold me up for 2-3 days where it just knocks me right off the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
So I stopped. I'm like, I heard of plenty of people dying running, plenty of people falling, breaking something running. I never heard anybody dying on a rower, ever.
Right.
Find it. I challenge you.
Well, and just like nutrition,
It exists now that
same
you said
thing for
that.
exercise, right? We're talking about boot camp, we're talking about CrossFit, we're talking about running.
Right.
Find what works for you. It all works, and then figure
Seriously.
out first, like what's
If you're a Peloton
You know
person,
what my
you want to
problem
have
is?
like,
stuff at
what's your
home.
goal? That's the thing. A lot of times we don't have goals. A lot of times we're chasing things because maybe someone else did it,
Or
we're
we think
thinking
that we need to
well,
I just want to weigh less. Well, what does that look like, and what do we do when we? The other thing is, what do we do when we get there? So we hit that point.
Stop.
Now what?
Right. You got
It's
to
like,
fall in love
well, I'm
with
good.
the process.
Exactly.
Like anything in life, like going back to business, right? If we didn't love what we did,
You wouldn't do it.
well, we would have gave up when we would have shut our doors. But like, well, the government says we can't keep running. We're gonna wait on someone to ride in on a white horse and save us with this government bailout or whatever.
Or you're gonna figure shiz out
Or you're
and
gonna
get it
figure out
done.
your shiz and keep doing your biz.
Yeah.
That's right. I like that. That's that's a T-shirt.
That's a T-shirt right there.
TikTok.
Figure out your shiz and keep doing your biz. Yeah, because that's just
100%. I feel like that's literally what we've been doing during this entire time. Because you don't have any option. And it's interesting what you bring up about running. I had the same thing when I first got into CrossFit. My coach that was our lead trainer had gone to a pose running seminar and was very much getting into this pose running. It's where it's all about positioning, and you kind of let your body use gravity, and you're kind of using that momentum. You're not working so hard to run.
I have gravity mastered.
But it was a very interesting thing. Like, he would film us. He had us do these drills, and I remember, like, if I got back to it, it would help me. But I just remember I was never really taught to run. I just played sports, and I was told, run. Just run.
Yes.
Just run from here to there.
That was a big reason I didn't do sports as a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm not hurt. How many people I know that have done sports that had injury, that are wearing knee like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But those coaches, those trainers aren't doing them any service other than brute force. Go do what everybody else is doing.
It's true.
Herd mentality.
Technically, functionally, you have to put yourself back together. Like, I know a lot of people rip on CrossFit. Like, CrossFit saved me.
If you go to the reason it gets ripped on is because just like anything, I'm sure you've been to a crappy
yeah
car mechanic
doctors,
and everything else. The same thing.
personalization business. Like, there's
Look,
people that
shitty
suck at what they
experiences
do.
everywhere.
Right.
I'll tell you. I mean, I'm a rant here a little bit. Be ready.
Don't say the business.
No, look, man. The reason people have issues with CrossFit is because you get these meatheads that are like, you gotta do this.
Well,
right? And
they want to. It's not about what I can do and you need to do what I can do. I want to know, what do you need to do and how can I help you get there?
Yeah, it's for me, like any of this stuff, it's about longevity and not getting hurt. Like building yourself up to avoid injury, right? Because as soon as you hit injury,
you're done.
You're off the wagon. And then you're doing drugs and all kinds of shit to try and heal, and You want to heal with food. Not, I mean, you want to
what's
stay
that
away
stuff
from
eventually
that shit.
gonna
You
do
just
for
don't
you?
need that
Yeah,
crap in your
that's
system.
more of a temporary thing, not a lifelong.
Right. But I mean, I think you run into people. They were miscoached. They were mistrained. They had injury. They say
Dude, your
something
strength coach
negative.
just told you to lift. They didn't teach you how to do it. No one ever taught me how to squat.
But
no one.
But I know, for me too. I never squatted till I did CrossFit, and even at that point, when they took the time to teach me, I was like, wow, this is fascinating. When that gym closed and I went to another one, and I was like, holy crap, there's like 50 people in here in a class. There's 3 coaches. I'm working with this guy that I'm partnered up with, and he's squatting and he's on his toes, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm not a coach, but drop the weight back, get in your heels, because you're gonna blow something out. And you're like, hey man, I got it. I'm like, all right, I said my piece.
He was working his ego instead of his.
And again,
that's
it happens to everyone.
And that's why I haven't like really excelled at CrossFit, because I'm not afflicted by peer pressure. Right. I could really give a shit, right? It's like I'm gonna do what I can do, and it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. I'm only competing against me, right?
For me, that was a big.
I used to drive my coaches nuts. They're like, "Well, so," I'm like, I don't really care what that guy's doing. It doesn't matter to me.
And again, that doesn't need to be a comparison, and to even use that as an example is like silly. But like I was saying, for me, I didn't know how to move very well functionally, and so to get some of that back, like I had a bad knee from an injury in high school football that then I didn't rehab appropriately because I was just like, it's not that bad, so I'll go play basketball, which then made it work. And then never really did anything. Go to college where they're going to try to make you lift more weights and not tell me how to ever do it right, so I'm going to hurt myself there. And then all of a sudden it's just like I'm having all this stuff, I'm out of sport. My dad's like, you go to the gym, so I'm going to the gym with him, and then we there's a CrossFit gym inside of a Globo gym essentially, and my dad's like, oh, you should go. And I did my first workout ever.
Globo gym. Did you not have like a dodgeball thing in the back of your head kind of show up?
Well, that's what you always call those, is like the traditional, no offense to those gyms. But I just remember I did my first workout. It was, now I could do this workout no problem. They call it baseline. It's 500-meter row, 40 air squats, 30 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, 10 pull-ups. Piece of cake for most people if you're relatively in shape. It's not really that big of a deal. Dude, it took me like 8 minutes, and it had me on my back worse than I've ever been in my life. And I was like, the hell did you just put me through? It was just a one-on-one with me and my coach. I'm like, bro, I've done some rough stuff. This was rough. And I remember slowly getting that back, and I'm like, and even then I got crazy competitive, and I wanted to go into the competition side, and I was pushing that too far. And then I like fixed myself and then broke myself again, and then was like, okay, I got to move all this back to just the basics. Like, how do you move when you air squat? And I'm like, I move like shit. Okay, we got to fix this. And then slowly build that stuff back. And again, for me, lifting more than I've ever lifted and doing things better, but I had to functionally build myself back up. Yeah. And again, for me, it happened in 2 things. I wasn't taking care of myself, and I tore my Achilles 2 months before my daughter was born. And then my daughter was born, and it's like the tearing of my Achilles, luckily in my business I was still able to do stuff, but it could have really messed some shit up really bad. Yes.
You were just getting going.
I was just getting, and I'm like, I have to prioritize this better. And it's not like I stopped working out. It's just like, I don't need to do this to try to be competitive. And I also need to do when you're experiencing some sort of level of pain that doesn't feel right. Like, yes, doing a workout that is hard, you'll feel some sort of like, oh man, this is tough. When you feel a physical pain in a joint, in a muscle, and something like that, that's your body telling you something. Something's imbalanced. Something's wrong. And I knew that and ignored it. And because of that, I tore my Achilles and had to get surgery, and then had a child and was like, I got to get my shit together and get my priorities straight. Making sure I work my business, which provides for my family, and making sure I take care of her was like priority. And I'm like, I still work out, and people will probably be like, well, it looks like you're back to doing some ridiculous. And I'm like, I'm not. Like, it might look that way, but for me, it's very much of like, I still want to do something, but it needs to be, what's the goal here? Like the gym I used to go to, we were hella competitive, and it was just like, and I still had that, like, dude, I'm still good enough to kick your ass. And I'm going against people like 6 years younger than me. And he doesn't have a wife, and he doesn't own his own business. All he does is work out. No offense. If you're watching this, you know exactly who you are. But it's just one of those things of like, that was, and again, somebody that was, somebody not in great shape, worked out super hard. CrossFit literally changed their life, gave them their life back. They loved it. And then they were never really competitive in something, and they wanted to really pour themselves into that. That's cool. that was me like 6 years ago. It's not me now.
Right.
And I don't need to try to kill myself to beat you on something.
Now,
it doesn't matter.
Now he's just TikTok competitive.
That's
Yeah.
right.
But you got to be in it for yourself.
But again, that doesn't hurt anyone.
No, it doesn't.
Nobody's going to get it. But if we're doing that, it's like I could potentially hurt myself, and that doesn't do me any good.
No.
And that doesn't mean shit's not going to happen. Listen, you can go do anything. We can be as safe as possible, and stuff's going to happen. That's a part of the process, but we can't let that cripple us from not doing anything. So for me, it's, you know, it's always been a balance, but I'm always in my head of like, I don't ever want to go back to that place, because it was really just all about really pushing myself and really being like, I could beat everyone in my gym, and I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Am I getting some award for that? Like,
Well,
does that
so
matter?
as you were saying, I was just thinking about, you know, going back to the physique show. Like, I did it for me. Like, and then we were back to the class that we in was men's novice, meaning it's your very first. It was everybody's first show, and so like guys were so nervous backstage. And I said to the one guy, he was like, how do you think I look with this? I said, were you sitting out in the audience before we came back? He said, yeah. I was like, who are you watching? Like, the only people paying attention to you are your friends, your 3 friends, and your mom and
the
your
people
dad
looking at you.
that are out there in the audience. Just go up there and have fun. Make this for
And if you're a badass, they're gonna look at you. They're gonna be like, "Oh wow!" Like, you know. That's...
Yeah, but it's like you're not. And if you win, I always take it to like that next level. Like, if you win this competition,
then what?
I'd be like, hey,
like what's gonna happen?
Yes.
You're not gonna be on Muscle and Fitness magazine.
Quit being so logical here, Tom. We don't have time for that.
What you look like is the least thing you need to worry about. What your body's telling me is that you're very cold.
What do you mean?
Shrinkage, Jerry.
No, they were physique. You wore bathing suit, right? We're not talking any
Speedo, no?
No, that's
No.
Oh, that's not
Physique
novice?
is bathing
Oh,
suit.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're not talking about. Yeah.
Speedos,
We
banana hammocks.
Yeah, we didn't need any banana hammocks. If that's your thing, hey, it's cool. It's fine.
Good.
It's
No,
not a problem.
It's weird.
It is weird.
The whole thing was pretty weird.
This shit's not okay. We're not being okay.
I'm
and good to
telling
everybody.
you, it is.
For people that were way into it too. But hey, if that's your thing and that's what you're passionate about, go for it.
That's
Just
right.
be smart.
Jam.
Take care of your body.
Yeah.
Do the like you
Just-
said. You're doing a lot of things to try to get yourself there that aren't necessarily healthy for your body, healthy for your kidneys, just healthy for some things. But you're doing it again, like you said. You had a approach that you were using. You did this. I'm sure it was
had a
like
plan.
a whole.
Well, I wanted to see what it took, right? Because I'm a coach, I'm a trainer. I know people want to like.
You
look
put
that
yourself
way,
through that, and you can
so
tell
I
them.
did. I can say I know exactly how to get there.
I'm the same
now
way.
When you come in the door and you're 60 pounds overweight and you think that that's what you want, it's like we'll get you close, and if you want to keep going, we'll keep going. But
I know how to get you exactly there.
And
it's
it
like,
wasn't
but
really
you
that.
gotta.
It wasn't that fulfilling. Like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you.
And again, if you love those little one-off things and you want to do that, that's cool. Like I get it. Like I could see that. I've had times in my life where it's like I want to do that. I want to, when I got into CrossFit, 2 things I wanted to do. I wanted to do like a long run without really training for a long run, just doing. So I did a 15K Tulsa run, just off of literally CrossFit training, not doing any of that. Did fine, nothing crazy. Was starving after the race was over. I was, didn't prep any of like, hey, let me have some things as I'm going through. Just like finished, and they have like candy bars and all this stuff at the very end that you can get. And I'm like, I'm about to eat like 15 Snickers right now as we talk about like trying to be healthy.
Candy bars.
And then I wanted to do a triathlon, so I did a triathlon strictly off of that. And the run and the bike were fine. We did like a stationary bike and like it was a sprint. It wasn't like
I
a
did
full.
one of those too. Yeah.
The swim is what killed me, dude.
Oh, the
I
swim
sink
was
like
my
a rock.
Best part, and I thought it was gonna be horrible.
Oh, dude, I got smoked by
run
like a
down there.
47-year-old man and these 2 14-year-old twin girls. They were in my heat and they kicked my ass. Like I made it. It was like down and back.
that
It was
made
like
it
a
even
4.
worse.
Snake a pool when we did it.
It was like a,
And that
I
made
forget
it
what it
even
was. It was like a
worse, right?
400 meter or something like
far
that. So
enough,
down
yeah.
and back was 100, and we had to do that 4 times. And I'm like swimming like you would down as I'm coming back. I'm like, well, this shit's about to go. Like I don't have this in me technique wise. Like I thought, I could just go. Who the hell can't swim? Like this is
Oh, you
fine.
didn't train for the swimming?
No, I didn't train
Oh.
for it. Like I said, I just wanted to do CrossFit training and say, can I get thrown into this and can I do? And I did.
Yeah.
And I caught up on the other stuff. And man, that 40, I still remember to this day, this 47-year-old man, we're on the stationary bike. And he's got his headphones on and he's just fucking pumping it. He's like, come on. come on. Like, he's just sitting there like jazzing, and I'm like laughing. I'm like, this is hilarious. The worst part for me was me and my wife were dating
Brandon's
at
like
the time.
sipping on his black coffee, like.
No. I was
bastard.
riding. The worst part for me was the seat. I had to have my wife throw me my towel, so I literally had like the compression shorts Speedo for my swim. I didn't wear like Speedo. I just wore compression shorts and then threw shorts and my shoes and everything on to go upstairs for the stationary bike and then the run. And I had toweled off and thrown it to her, and I was like, "Hey, throw me the towel," and I wedged it up and put it under my ass and sat on it because I was like, that seat, dude, it's not comfortable. It's like right in the taint.
Especially if you don't ride that. If it's not your bike and you're not used to it.
Hell with that. Like, why do bike seats have to be like they're kind of trying to get up your butt? Like,
dude,
why can't we just have some nice
the taint,
pancake,
just right on that thing?
Like, there should be a pancake swing.
Yeah, dude. I remember my dad won that when I was younger, and I'm like, what? And you get older, and you're like, you were a smart man.
Like, I want a seat that handles both cheeks. I don't want a crack seat, you know? Like, everything else is like, ride the crack and let everything hang. Like,
yeah, your pudendal
bike
nerve
manufacturers,
like
you can do better, please.
Our teacher in school was always talking about that. That's your pudendal nerve. You can get numbness there. So if you start to feel any numbness,
the numbness
in your
is
area,
fine.
that's from sitting on that nerve. So you got to be careful.
The numbness is fine until you move. And once you move and you adjust that numbness, you're screwed.
Dude, if your hole and cheeks and stuff is feeling numb, that's a problem.
Get off the bike.
Yeah, we're good here. Yeah, not my cup of tea. And with that,
on that note,
we probably
we're probably there, aren't we?
Yeah, I was about to say we're there. I was just looking. Tom, let them know where they can find you. Any stuff that they can look up. Any of this 6-week challenge stuff.
Fit Body Boot Camp. You'll find us if you're here in Richardson. It's Richardson Fit Body Boot Camp. And just take a look at what we do. We have locations all across the country. We have all across the world. Actually, we have over 500 locations. We're growing like crazy. People love what we do. 30-minute workouts. Lots of coaching.
30-minute.
We are not a gym. We are a coaching program that just happens to include workouts. So
I got 30 minutes.
And you guys include a lot of things that come with that. I know you guys do tons of stuff.
Fitness, nutrition, and accountability. You're going to get all of those and be part of a really cool community.
Dude, and you guys just got those meals. I saw that. I was actually going to ask you about that.
Meals are dropping on Thursday.
I'm potentially interested on that. They have like these pre-made meals that are pretty.
30-minute workouts.
Yeah.
Meal, like the meals are extra, I assume, or
yeah.
Okay.
It's like a meal program, but you can say this is what I want, and like they're laid out, like it's got exactly.
So like, I could do all of that. The only thing I'm struggling with, and I've been thinking about it since you said it, is setting that sleep schedule. But continue, and we'll talk after the
so that's fine.
podcast.
Yeah, the sleep. I mean, the sleep's important, but and that's what we even coach in our challenge. Like a lot of times, folks come in and everyone thinks about the workout. We don't even really talk about the workout a lot. We talk about your sleep, you're drinking enough water.
The other things, yep.
Right? And
the stuff that people don't think about. Again, same thing. I'm always trying to put that stuff out. Like, yes, I'm going to talk about this. You know, no offense to other chiropractors. I think you waste a lot of people's time because if they would just do some low back stretches, they would probably feel better. So I'm just saying. So that's what I put out as one of those things of like, listen, here's a stretch routine that you can do. It takes less than 10 minutes, and you'll probably feel great.
I've never felt as good as I did when I did yoga.
Yeah,
well, yeah, you're in that Bikram stuff.
Well, and let's look at what's going on right now with this will be the last thing, but on Corona, and again, just looking at how we are human beings.
We had to talk about it.
We're all looking for a cure. We're all looking for a pill. We're all pushing prescription. We're all looking. As soon as something goes wrong, we're gonna take a pill for it. Why don't we think about our bodies like we think about our car? Kind of like you guys mentioned.
And build it up.
Preventative maintenance, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just. When it breaks down, it's because of the wear and tear that we're putting on.
You want to essentially create the military apocalypse vehicles of all vehicles in your body. Which is, again, what I always talk about. You want to build up your body's natural ability. Like in my opinion, and I've seen other people say this is not like I'm making this prediction, but I already had this feeling too. I think we are going to have other things that increase in their death rate and people getting more sick from other things over the next 6 months to a year because we're not out getting exposed to what we naturally would to build up your body's own natural immune system. That's how you build that up. And we're inside of our house, especially for massive germaphobes, wiping everything down and possibly killing anything that would help us build up that naturally.
Yeah. So I find it
100%.
It wouldn't be a full episode without a little bit of a conspiracy theory.
Oh, jeez.
Right, we could finish.
Are you going to open this can of worms here?
No, I'm just going to say, like, the place that we used to go to stay healthy has been deemed by local governments to be the place that's the most likely to contract something like this.
Yep, non-essential.
Is
But
that
guess
not
what is
ironic?
essential?
Is that not
Liquor
ironic?
stores.
Yeah, I know, but is that not ironic? That's kind of funny though, right? Like, everyone's like, "Oh, it's sweaty, it's gross, it's
Well,
you
and
know," and it's like,
the unfortunate part for us is we are not a gym. We are not when they lumped us in with gyms, it was like I have a small space. We can control social distancing. We have a 25-page protocol for when we open back up that we're gonna keep people safe. We're limiting how many people come in. We know our members. And it's not just a more of a public place like at your regular gym where anyone can
You
go
want
in
everyone to feel safe.
and touch everything. So that was we're definitely pushing to get our type of gyms open because we have more control.
no. Your types of coaching facilities.
Our type of coaching facility because we actually have
Online's the safest
I
too.
actually have a better, more thorough protocol for when we open up 10 days from now. Than any place you've been, to any grocery store you walked into. What are they doing when you walk in the door? Is there anybody?
Dude, if someone legitimately wanted to take us out, just send it to a grocery store and we're done because that's the place where they're letting us go.
And
Why is that place okay? They ain't wiping shit down.
Right. We have a more, a much more thorough protocol than that, and we can't wait to open back up and welcome people back in.
So check them out, guys. Richardson Fit Body Boot Camp. Scotty, you got anything for us, or are you just gonna? Is this going to be a traditional? You got nothing?
Yeah, this is going to be a traditional. I got nothing. I'll do a little plug. All right, we're still doing support local Texas.
You guys can come pick up T-shirts at my office.
Yeah, his office, my studio, variety of other locations. If you need to get a shirt, you could find them online.
We're going to have an event when we can have events.
Sticker.
We need to have you come out.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to have a big public event. We're trying to rally Richardson. We're trying to bring everyone together. So,
but check it out online. We'll bring it back for, we're going to be doing not quite a podcast, but we're going to be doing some like 5 to 15 minute sets, just featuring small businesses, featuring local musicians, local artists, just everything that kind of makes
value.
Community.
I very poorly play the guitar as well, so
all right,
awesome. That might be fascinating to watch. I mean,
poorly's even better than us because we can't play for shit.
We could have some comedy in it too. I mean,
Listen,
it's okay.
Yep. I'll make up lyrics on the spot. That's what we'll do. It's a gift of mine.
Here's what we do: we spray tan them up, we grease them down, we put them up here with a guitar, and we let them play.
Yeah,
5 minutes.
Ladies, you're welcome.
We'll TikTok it.
It'll be on TikTok. Yep, it'll be fantastic. That's all you got?
Go check out, obviously like, follow, share, subscribe, both the podcast, Richardson Fit Body Boot Camp, and check out Support Local Texas on Facebook. We'll be having a bunch of stuff coming up, and he's Dr. Brown.
I'm Dr. Brandon Brown, and I approve this message.